Hello and welcome, this is Eric from AG Racing Central. In this video series, I play through the Fury campaign in WipeOut Omega Collection and try to collect all the gold medals on the toughest difficulty, called Elite. There's a total of 8 grids with various events, and the first 2 grids called Blitzed and Impact went relatively smoothly. In this episode, I tackled the 3rd grid called Voltage. Let's get started. A vast majority of the events in this grid was on Venom, the slowest speed class, and this included the first one I tried that was an eliminator event on Talon's Junction, where I chose the heavily shielded Triacus ship. Even though a large amount of randomness is involved in the eliminator events, since all weapon pickers are random, they tend not to be the most challenging events. It might be because the AI is not suited for effectively positioning themselves to score points with their weapons, but the biggest problem for me in this race was the opponents racing ahead of me. It didn't take long though before I completed the event in first place with quite a good margin to the runner-up.
Complete. Gold medal awarded.
Tech the Raw is a technical circuit, so for the speed lap event on that track, I went for the Agile Harriman ship. In speed lap, your fastest lap time is all that counts and you're given a boost each lap. The boost should be used at the point during the lap where it gives you the opportunity to do a mid-air barrel roll for an additional speed boost. Once figuring out the best place to do that, the gold medal was no problem. A detonator event was up next, which is a shoot-'em-up/race hybrid. I was more or less able to breeze through the detonator events from previous grids, but this time I actually exploded before reaching the target score. A bit of strategy was obviously needed. 2 things are important in detonator. The first being to avoid damage at all costs, since the event is over when your ship explodes. Avoiding wall collisions and bumping into the orbs is therefore a priority over actually shooting them. Running over the pads on the track is also important, since they charge your EMP weapon that destroys everything in front of you, meaning it's a necessary last resort when a collision with an orb is imminent. Implementing these techniques alongside manually reloading the guns rather than waiting for the ammo to run out got me the gold medal on the 2nd try.
Gold medal awarded.
The single race on Modesto Heights that was up next became intense. I picked Goteki 45, a ship I don't use that much, but it has its thrust stats maxed out, so I figured I'd see if it was beneficial in a single race with the ever-present threat of weapon hits slowing you down. I would have not said no to better handling, but the fast acceleration of this ship definitely kept me in the game as the aggressive opponents blasted me to a halt more than once. It came down to the wire against the Van Uber team, and I actually accidentally bumped into my opponent just before the finish line with a side shift as they attempted to speed past me. And this very random moment got me the gold medal.
Race complete.
The next event was a zone battle on Tech the Raw, and regardless of the team you choose, the ship has maxed out stats, just like in regular zone events. I actually missed the podium on 2 attempts on this event while playing too casually, so some strategy was needed this time as well. In zone battle, you accumulate energy by flying over pads on the ground. You then spend that energy to increase your zone level and your ship's speed. Instead of waiting for my energy meter to be full, I spent it a little earlier, allowing me to hit more pads faster and get ahead of the competition to avoid the annoying barriers they constantly drop. This tactic finally granted me the gold as I reached the target zone level first.
Target attainable.
Another single race was up next on the Amphitheum. This was on Venom, the slowest speed class, but these races can be tougher in a sense as they leave little room for mistakes. I was slowly working my way up to the top positions and didn't actually manage to get in first place until the very end of the race. Some critical moments included a plasma kill
Contender eliminated.
and a shield pickup very close to the finish line.
Missile. Race complete. Gold medal awarded.
In the 2nd detonator event on Protoso, I simply implemented what I learned from the previous run, and with little focus, the gold medal was mine on the 1st try.
Gold medal awarded.
2 events left, and the first one I went for was another eliminator on Modesto Heights. This time I picked the, in my opinion, not very pretty, but very balanced Mirage ship. Simply getting damage in these events is important, but actually destroying other ships gives you more points. This of course comes down to a bit of luck, since you need to get the final hit, but in this race I got a few of those, both missiles and rockets, giving me a relatively easy win.
Gold medal awarded.
The final event was the first tournament of the campaign. In the tournament, you race 4 single races after each other, and each racer is given points based on their position after each race. The team with the most points after all 4 races wins the tournament. There's no way to retry a single race in the tournament. You have to start the entire tournament from the beginning if things don't go your way. On the first race on Talon's Junction, I got quite a few good pickups consisting of a Quake and several turbos, giving me a comfortable first place. The second race on the Amphitheum went in a similar fashion. Getting a lead early can lead to a snowball effect since you don't need offensive weapons. Instead, you can discard weapons until you get ones you want, preferably a turbo. 2 races and 2 wins, and the third race was on Modesto Heights. This race also started off good, but I got hit by a missile in the middle of the hairpin, slowing me down to a halt. There was enough left of the race for me to claw my way back to the first position, and I had a really good buffer of points before the last race on Tech de Ra. I was lucky that was the case, because even if things started off good, just before the third lap was about to start, I got hit by a series of mines, sending me down to 7th place.
Mines.
I wasn't able to fully recover, but since the other races went so well, I was able to cash in the last gold medal of the voltage grid. Things are definitely getting more challenging in the Fury campaign, but we're soon at the halfway mark with 5 events left. To check out the first episode of this series, click on the video to the left, and to watch the entire playlist, click on the video to the right. Thank you very much for watching. This is Eric from AG Racing Central, and I'll see you in the next video.